The following is for the purpose of commentary and review. A Place Further Than the Universe is directed by Atsuko Ishizuka, produced by Kanji Nakamoto, written by Juki Hanada, musically composed by Yoshiaki Fujisawa, developed by Studio Madhouse, and licensed by Crunchyroll. Please support the official release. Wow, this was a challenge to write. This is one of the most unsuspecting anime I've seen in what seems to be forever. I didn't expect to laugh so hard, to cry this many tears, or cherish these characters to this extent. A Place Further Than the Universe is an anime that's just as much about the journey as it is the destination, and I can't give this show enough praise as is. I'm just going to say two things right off the bat. First, go watch it. Don't watch my review yet, please. I promise you, it is that good. Second, this has potential to be anime of the season, if not anime of the year. And if it isn't even considered for either one, I'm gonna blow my head off. I'm just not like with a gun. It's just gonna explode volcanically. After Mari agrees to join Shirase in the first episode, the two girls are joined by Hinata Miyake, a gas station clerk who dropped out of high school for unexplained reasons, who just so happened to hear them talking about Antarctica and befriended Mari after she was hired at the same store. Being co-workers, they got better acquainted, and Hinata jumped at the idea since she has 2 years left before she can take college entrance exams anyway. The three girls attempt to sneak into the expedition to sign up, but are ferreted out by two members that recognize Shirase, leading to a wild chase through the city at night. After the girls are caught, Shirase tries to convince them to let her join by offering the 1 million yen she had saved up, but they turn it down, claiming to have enough funding for their trip anyway. It's okay. Rest assured, there is a solution. The next episode, the girls meet Yuzuki Shiraishi, an actress who was chosen to be the reporter for this Antarctic expedition, who offers Shirase the job in her stead, but her manager and mother, Tamiko, denies Yuzuki's request. Tamiko agrees to let the girls join Yuzuki on the Antarctic expedition if they can convince her to go. Yuzuki eventually confesses to the girls that she never had true friends while acting, and so the girls befriend her and invite her to hang out, which leads an overwhelmed Yuzuki to burst into tears. Oh, and by the way, she's part of the group now. So the girls are finally bound for the Antarctic. Hoorah! But they're not quite ready. First they have to prepare for the journey by packing properly, getting permission slips signed, and by getting the proper training from Jin Todo, the captain of the expedition, former captain of the last expedition, and friend of Shirase's mother, Takako. This becomes pretty important later, even though it's already important, because Jin returned from the first expedition, whereas Takako did not, causing Shirase to hold an unspoken grudge. Before they leave, the story takes an unexpected turn when Megumi reveals that she doesn't want to be friends with Mari anymore. This whole time, she's been jealous of her ever since she's been determined and self-reliant enough to go to Antarctica and work her way to that goal. This leaves Megumi feeling like she's no longer needed, but Mari refuses to end their friendship, leaving both of these girls in tears. This came as a very unexpected turn to me for Megumi, but more on that later. The girls fly to Singapore, where Hinata lost her passport. Shirase offers to buy them all new tickets with 1 million yen because they'd missed the flight waiting on the passport to be replaced. And it turns out to be in Shirase's purse the whole time. Oops. Then they embark on another flight to Fremantle, Australia, where their voyage truly begins. From here they board the icebreaker Penguin Manju Go, the ship that will carry them across thousands of kilometers of frozen waters into Antarctica. While on board, the girls deal with accursed seasickness, train up their stamina to combat any harsh conditions in the Antarctic, and help the crew in the kitchen, on deck, or wherever they can, while it's documenting their journey. Shirase still can't get over stage fright, but she does at least try from time to time, but she mostly just looks at the floor during interviews or on-camera moments. Eventually, the ship makes landfall in Antarctica, in which the girls are the first ones to step foot into the frozen wonderland. Shirase takes this moment to scream out in triumph. With the whole crew on deck joining in the chant. The rally cry full of sentiment that rang like a golden bell in the hearts of the crew. During their time at Siowa Station, Yuzuki understands what brings the four girls together as friends. Hinata confesses why she left high school and confronts her old trackmates with Shirase's help, and Shirase finds a remnant of her mother, bringing a close to Shirase's bottled up grief after so many years without Takako. The girls then have to go back home, but not before Shirase cuts her hair as a sign of moving on, boldly promising to return to Antarctica one day. Once on board the ship, the girls get to see the Aurora Australis, the breathtaking array of light that they never got the chance to witness in Antarctica. And then Shirase receives a single message from her mother that never got sent. An email with a picture attachment of the Aurora itself with the words, "The real thing is 10,000 times more beautiful." Then we get to see that Megumi herself has carved her own path in life, and sends Mari a picture from Antarctica, leaving her stunned, laughing and asking why. This story was marvelous. I've grown to love these four girls just so dearly, like a proud father. I seem to be getting into a trend of that here lately. Now it's time to get into the nitty-gritty of what makes these characters great. Let's start with some of the side characters, specifically Jin. Jin's relationship with Shirase is a complicated one, as the two characters never see eye to eye. Shirase isn't even necessarily sure if she hates Jin for coming back without her mother or not, like she says on the ship. You can tell some form of resentment is there, but I don't think it's a conscious decision on Shirase's part, as she's just as smart as she is passionate of a character, and she understands that it's not Jin's fault. Jin honestly did the right thing by not trying to brave the blizzard to save Takako, as this surely would have spelled the end for our strong, stone-faced captain. Clearly, she holds some sympathy and attachment to Shirase, having interacted with one another while Takako would leave the two alone. She even teaches Shirase how to properly jump rope, which makes her a sort of ant-like figure anyway. I appreciated how deep this relationship turned out to be, and how it served to grow and flesh out Shirase's character arc when she grows comfortable with Jin at the end. Speaking of characters that support other characters, let's talk about this one, who I thought to be Mari's Samwise about a month ago, Megumi. A character who turned out to be just as dependent on Mari as she was on Megumi. She needed Mari's dependence to make her feel important. This was a beautiful door number 3 option, as I never even considered the mature and reserved Megumi to do such horrible things as spread rumors or avoid Mari, a friend that she's had since they were both girls on a playground. Also, this made for one of the most teary-eyed moments in the show, where Mari refuses to end this relationship upon her departure for Antarctica. During Mari's adventure, Megumi learns what Mari had to learn, to get the most out of her youth. And you'll hear me use this phrase often, as it is the show's theme, but now I'm just getting ahead of myself. Megumi and Mari serve as references for what friends are all about when Mari demonstrates the mutual trust between the two girls to Yuzuki, despite Megumi's lack of interaction with Mari over the weeks that Mari has been gone. Then she does the anything you can do, I can do better thing by traveling to the Arctic Circle. Wow, what a breakout character. She's like a totally different person from what we see initially when Mari leaves Japan, which also begs the question, Megumi OVA win? Keep me posted on that one, Crunchyroll. I'm on standby. Now as for Takako, we don't know a ton about her, but we can see that she has influenced Shirase greatly with her burning passion and determination, her prowess of mahjong, her talent in baseball, and that's actually about it. You know, other than Jin remarking that Shirase is the splitting image of Takako after Shirase cuts her hair, Shirase doesn't even share the same enthusiasm and love for Antarctica that her mother had. She would primarily define her mother with a lesser objective of appreciating Antarctica, which she just didn't. You know, until she saw the same aurora that her mother did. Despite all this, we wouldn't have had nearly as good of a story if Takako was simply presented as an objective or narrative device rather than a full character. The other side characters were nice, but I just don't have much to say about them, to be quite honest. And that's nothing against them, it's just that they don't hold enough importance to go into great detail about. You know these characters if you watch the show, and if you haven't,
why did you disobey my command? Watch it now!
And now for the stars of the show. Hinata is one of the funnier characters due to her boldness and her strange fortune cookie sayings as she passes off as sagely wisdom. She also hates when people worry about her and insists on being the shoulder for one to lean on, showing how strong-willed this girl really is, especially when she offers to stay behind in Singapore when losing her passport. Honestly, how many people do you know that are that freaking brave to just stay behind in a foreign country until they can safely join you on your quest again? Seeing this resilience break down when her classmates contact her again for an interview with the four girls' families and friends was painful, as well as oddly satisfying, as by the end of the episode we finally get to see her be vulnerable and watch her come to the realization that it's okay to rely on others, and that you don't always have to hide how hurt you are in front of everyone, because that just tends to lead them to fret even more when they see that you are hurt. Yuzuki was absolutely precious, and pretty unique in that she has no friends not by choice but by lifestyle. This alienation and celebrity status has caused the poor girl to grow up basically isolated, not knowing who to confide or put faith into. The only constant she's ever had is her overbearing mother, which gives me a bad Toddlers and Tiaras vibe, but I digress.
You don't know anything about me, but you're about to know.
So when the girls not only invite her to hang out, go on this journey with her, and wish her a happy belated birthday, which is the first time any friends have ever celebrated her birthday, she sobs with happiness, knowing that these girls are her friends, no matter where they go, and no matter for how long they're far apart. Now for arguably the main character, Little Miss Get the Most Out of Youth herself, Mari Tamaki. Can I just say that I love this little bright-eyed bundle of sunshine? I swear she's so much like Akko from Little Witch that's unnerving. Come to think of it, she's basically Nadeshiko and Papika. But she's got a little more smarts than that. Yes, she's a klutz and a bit of an airhead, but she puts in the time to overcome her obstacles, like studying hard to get permission to go to Antarctica, getting a part-time job to pay for any trip expenses, and overcoming her fear of Murphy's Law. And being able to put aside these doubts, flourishing her into a character who was once clinging to others, into someone helping her friends, and being their steady rock of reliability. This fantastic package comes wrapped with a bow that was the ending of the last episode, showing her influence on the girl who she once depended on so desperately. Like, just what a beautiful character arc. Mari was definitely my second favorite character. Oh, that's right, my second, only to one other. This girl, Shirase Kobuchizawa. This amalgamation of dichotomies, this strong-willed young woman, the girl who would rub it in everyone's face. She's a girl who could stand up for others but couldn't even look a camera in the face. A girl who would gladly sacrifice her savings to bring a friend along, yet sheepishly reaches into her purse upon realizing the passport was there the whole time. Her stern expression all thrown aside when she sees penguins, making her heart melt with excitement. She's as smart as she is silly, as brave as she is meek. And all of these qualities make her fantastic. Even from the beginning, where we see her angrily storm out of the stall and at Mari, then break down and thank her so genuinely, is the full spectrum that is Shirase. Her palette of emotions, with the backpedaling she had to go through just to get into the expedition, the money she saved up in exchange for time and energy, almost having to leave a friend in Singapore, training her body for the harshest environments on the planet, and then finally getting to that place, further than the universe, finding her mother's laptop, and accepting that she truly is gone. It was amazing. It broke my heart into a million pieces, but it was amazing. I love her little qualities and her little perks. So when she finally understands why her mother loves Antarctica so much by looking into the night sky at Aurora Australis and receives that final message that her mother never got to send, that was the cherry on top of this delectable story and the perfect end to Shirase's character arc. From sorrow to denial, to finding a solution, accepting her loss, to throw away the baggage she brought along, including her hair and the 1 million yen, and finally the moment of healing, seeing what her mother saw in the final message. I actually cried at this part. I'm as serious as a stroke. I really mean it. This cathartic event was the best way to end it. How we see Shirase come into her own and start life anew as her own person, able to conquer whatever she puts her mind to as Takako once did. By the way, did I mention that she's actually named after a real ship? Yeah, this icebreaker, the fourth of its namesake, the Shirase Glacier, which was commissioned in 2009 by the Japan Maritime Self-Defense Force. So, that's pretty damn clever to name this girl after an icebreaking ship. The Penguin Manjugo is the same boat. Just some cool trivia I wanted to throw out there. And holy cow, the music. The OP, The Girls Are Alright, is so good at setting the tone for the show. The chorus with them sailing away makes you smile because as you're watching them struggle just to get to Antarctica, you're gently reminded that the girls are alright, and they're gonna be alright, and they're gonna have a blast in Antarctica. Just look at how happy they are. It's just so freaking cute. It's like two fluffy bunnies having tea with a kitty in a tutu. Okay, maybe not that cute, but you get the point. Also, listen to the extended version. Amazing stuff. The guitar solo at the 3-minute mark is just flashy enough. Complements the song and is badass. The ED was what I usually like in an ED. Low intensity, steady beat, and it picks up along the way with a fantastic chorus. It just fills me with happiness for some reason. Maybe it's the twinkling piano with the 4 penguins bowing at the end. Maybe it's the blooming flowers representing these girls blossoming into strong young women. Who knows? Once again, listen to the extended version. The guitar is just right, and the vocal chorus with 0 instruments is just so clean. And I never ever mention much other music from anime, but holy heaven help me, this song, Matane, written by Yoshiaki Fujisawa, will absolutely bring tears to the driest of eyes. Dear God, accompanying this with some of the most tender moments of the show almost felt cruel to me as a viewer. But it's just executed so magnificently that I had to mention it. Oh, I could still hear Shirase crying out for her mother. Phew! Damn, that hurts to think about again. In the animation, whew, Madhouse has knocked it out of the park. The cityscape of Singapore, the blue ocean, the intro and outro with their gorgeous luminescence, the views of Antarctica, how the rocky parts, honest to God, looked carved from ice and water over millennia, and not once did I find any character suffering from long-distance shot potato face. 0 complaints. Oh, and the aurora, super cool. It just looks good. Madhouse may be known for animating ultraviolence, but this may be my favorite thing they've done so far. And finally, what I almost always talk about in the end, the plot. The chance that Shirase bumps into Mari at the train station is a little far-fetched, but in order for a story to go from the ordinary to extraordinary, it needs a but one day this happened kind of moment, and it did. And that's especially crucial in a slice of life anime, because it's a slice of life, and crazy things happen in life. It began a reasonable chain reaction to break the mundane life of Mari, and to trigger her getting the most out of her youth. And that theme, it's sewn into the story's fabric, and I love it! And each girl hits that mark in some way. Yuzuki scores that co-starring role, but gains wonderful friends, getting that life she's wanted for so long, no longer having to be isolated. Hinata confronting her old classmates with the help of her friends, ditching the ball and chain that was her shame to achieve what she wants in life. Mari shedding her dependence on others and making her time in high school a remarkable one. And Shirase leaving behind her grief and baggage in the Antarctic, allowing her to march on with the moxie that her mother possessed. This theme is the plot, the story, and the show. It's inspiring, and it left me with a smile on my face and eyes swollen and puffy with tears. And other circumstantial happenings, like losing the passport, the money not being enough to get to Antarctica in the first place, all things that life could throw in your face out of nowhere. It was all believable. And not once did it take me out of the viewing experience and say, now wait a minute. The plot was on point, and all these little extra things, these little obstacles and events, added beautifully, and it's just built so well. Numerically speaking, this anime is worth well over $1 million yen, and I'd go to any place further than the universe for another show like this one. To everyone who worked on this show, thank you dearly. You've made this anime reviewing, cursed word spewing, video game playing goofball a happy goofball. And if you make an OVA, please let me know. I want to see it. I'd love to see that. And thank you to the viewer for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video as much as I did making it. This has been Sir Fluffy the Knight, reminding you to get the most out of your youth, and to have a wonderful day. Take care, everybody.